Now we go. All right. So yeah, let's get started over here. My camera's being a bit of a bitch tonight, so the focus looks okay right now, but it's been going in and out, so I don't know what the fuck. I don't know what to tell you. It's just esse quam esse, as they say. Well, let's wipe down the screen real quick. Last night I watched the movie Abigail over on Peacock, which is where it's streaming. Because I have all the fucking streaming services. I'm an absolute media slut. I have Peacock, I have Paramount, I have Netflix, I got Crunchyroll, I got Hulu, I got Amazon Prime, I got all this shit. And I keep going, that is enough, that is all I need, I don't need that. And lately I've been going, ooh, maybe I should get High Dive. No, I don't need High Dive. But I do keep looking at it, and I do keep thinking about it, and I do keep going, maybe I should get High Dive. I mean, they have Flowers of Evil, which is a really good anime. Maybe I should get High Dive so I can watch that again. And then I go, are you fucking listening to yourself? You should get a new streaming service and pay another however many dollars a month so you could watch a show you have already watched again. And then I go, yeah, you're right. I have a fucking problem. What can I say? Absolute media slut. Oh my God. I've always been like this. My cable bill used to be $200. I had every fucking channel. Anyway, so I watched the movie Abigail, and if you're not familiar with the movie, if you don't know what the movie's about, a bunch of guys, they kidnap this girl, and they're gonna hold her for ransom, and it turns out to be a far more complicated job than they expected. And if that is all you know about the movie's gonna be really good. So, if you're interested, stop right here and go over to Peacock and watch it. It's a good movie. The problem is that somewhere between here and getting to Peacock to watch it, you are enormously likely to be confronted with a spoiler that the movie would be a great deal better without. And since chances are very good, you're sitting there right now going, I know what it is. Yeah. I saw the trailers. I saw the promotional materials. I know what it is. And if you already know what it is, then, I'm going to talk about it. But if you don't know what it is and you want to go watch it, then by all means, go watch it. It's a good idea. It's a good movie. And the less you know about it, the better going in. But here comes the spoiler. You will have a difficult time getting to the movie without being handed the reveal that the little girl's a vampire. This led me to expect a very different movie, okay? The movie that I expected was, for 10 minutes, they are kidnapping the little girl, and they go, we got the little girl, yay! Awesome, we got this little girl, and we're going to hold her for ransom, and that's going to be awesome for some reason. And then I expected them to find out that she's a vampire and spend, like, the next hour and a half getting just completely fucking wrecked. That is not what I got. What I got instead was approximately an hour of everybody not knowing what the fuck was going on. Then you get the reveal that the little girl's a vampire. And then you get about another hour of all hell breaking loose and everybody gets their shit wrecked. Now, I'm not unhappy because, well, I did only get an hour of people getting their shit wrecked after finding out she's a vampire. I did get like 10, 15 minutes of people getting their shit wrecked before we knew. They did some interesting stuff there. They played some interesting games there. But, man, if I had just not known anything going into that movie would have been 10 times better. And this bothers me, this whole, people that just let the cat out of the bag in no time at all about movie marketing. They just immediately go, here's the big secret. And that bugs me. I feel like we shouldn't be doing that. And one of the things that I was thinking about was when did we start doing that? When did we start just blowing the fucking whistle on the big reveal? Straight out of the gate in the trailer. And when I was thinking about it, I was sitting there and I was going, well, this is one of those back in my day kind of things. But when I was thinking about it, I am pretty sure I saw trailers in the 70s that blew the whistle on the secret in the movie in an attempt to market it. I definitely saw them in the 80s. So we've been doing this all along, and my big question, therefore, is not, how do we stop people from doing this, but why the fuck did we ever do? Why don't we know better? Why don't we understand how to make the movie-going experience better for the moviegoer? It seems like we would want to do that. I don't know why we don't do that. It's very frustrating. Anyway, let's talk about Sonozaki Mion. In particular, let's talk about the time lapse I did yesterday for Sonozaki Mion. Actually, let me pull up the time lapse export. We'll pause that. And there we go. Now, I'm going to go back and forth on this. Let me put my screen up here. Now, I'm going to go back and forth on this. I'm going to pause and unpause at bits and pieces. So the first thing is that I start off defining my palette. And what I'm doing here is I'm going through and I'm finding all of the various colors that I need to do the picture. And one of the things I'm trying to not do quite so much is I'm trying not to use the eyedropper, because using the eyedropper will get you the exact color, but it doesn't teach you how to find the exact color. And the exact color is not quite as important as finding the color that is good enough. And you could see me kind of doing that with lots of different colors in here. Like, I find one in particular. You see me here trying to find the color for the skirt. And you see me checking that color a couple of times. Let me scroll back. And you see it's not quite right. It's not quite right there, and I never get it quite right. And that's okay. Because at this point, I was like, that's not right, but I don't know what to do to make it better. I mean, the value needs to be changed a little bit, and I think I did that, actually. I did change the color a little bit. It's the same thing here when I'm trying to get the skin tone. You can see me doing that right up here in the corner on the face, and that's why the eye is half obscured. That's me trying to find the skin tone. None of these colors end up being perfect, but they don't need to be perfect. They just need to be close enough. And one of the things that I'm working very hard to be able to do is to settle for close enough. I get bound up in trying to do things perfectly, and then I can't do things perfectly, and then I don't do things. And that's kind of the issue that I have with my video editing. I need to extend this practice to that at some point so I can actually do more videos, but I'm not there yet. And I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to get there. But recognizing that I'm not perfect, but I'm close enough with these colors, that is a step toward that. Like this white right here. It's not pure white. It's actually a kind of very, very light blue. So So beyond that, I wanted to kind of talk about the process that I went through here. And you'll see that what I kind of did was I went through this process of blocking in all of the individual bits and pieces. And I did them all just very kind of like exactly copying the stuff that I'm looking at in the reference. And I don't think that was the right way to do it. And there's a number of reasons why I don't think that was the right way to do it. Okay? One of those reasons is, if you look at these two side by side, and it'll stay this way through most of the time lapse, I've made her body too wide. Okay? And because I've made the body too wide, it looks kind of funky and none of the shapes are quite correct. And I don't really fix that until very close to the end. But there's a lot of stuff that I don't get around to fixing all the way through this time lapse. And as I went through here, I don't get the features right. I never get the features right. I just kind of rough them in. And doing all the flat colors first is a workflow that I've been doing for a while. And I kind of went from flat colors to line art. And what I kind of feel like here is, I feel like it's a good workflow for me, like rough out the shapes. I think a better way to do it would be to work from the inside out. To start with just the body, to start with the flesh tone, and do the entire body shape for Mion without putting any clothes on her. Because women are always the most fun without any clothes. And then from there, I should put the shirt and the skirt onto her, and over the skirt, put the vest and the tie, and then put the hair on top of her head at some point. I think working in that way and just kind of going, here's the entire body, and then we're going to go over top of that with the shirt. And the shirt's tucked into the skirt, so we'll do the skirt next to go over top of the bottom of the skirt. And then the vest goes over top of the shirt, and the tie goes over top of the shirt, and the hair goes over top of the head, and the features go over the front of the face. I should probably do the face before I do the hair, now that I think about it. Although I think most of the people who do this sort of stuff do the hair first and then draw the features, and the features go underneath the hair with layers and whatnot. But I don't know. I will work on some kind of workflow related to that. But I do kind of feel like working from the flat colors first is something that works well for me, and that fits well. I never do get all four fingers in here. I mean, I draw the ends of all four fingers, but I don't do the knuckles of all four fingers. Okay? She's going to have 3 fingers the whole time, but there will be 4 ends of the fingers in the end. But as I do here, the line art and whatnot, I think I got a lot of stuff a little bit out of place, but I also kind of tried to keep things more or less where they belonged. And I feel like going from a flat color to a line art and then into a cleanup phase where I clean, and they're right there, I fix the width of the body. And that's another problem right there, is when I fix the width of the body, okay? If I back up here a little, you can see that there, the body's wide, then I fix the body. The problem is that when I fix the body, if you notice, everything is wide, and when I fix the body being wide, the problem is that the face and the hand aren't wide. In fact, if anything, the hand is narrow. So when I narrow it down, the face ends up too narrow and the hand ends up too narrow. So I've got things that I got completely wrong there. And then as that moves forward, I just kind of continue the cleanup process. And when I start in with the shading, I kind of feel like as I was shading, I got frustrated with various areas and then just like phoned it in and didn't do a good job because I was frustrated with myself. And there's a lot of areas that I just skipped. Like, I didn't do the underside of her left breast at all. Okay? But there's a workflow here that I thought worked fairly well, which was to cell shade the whole thing using the horsehair brush, and then switch to the airbrush in transparent mode to fuzz out the soft edges. Now, this is like the exact opposite of what I've seen other people do. I've seen a bunch of other people do the, God damn it. I did not want to export a new video. Cancel. Okay. There we go. Okay. But, you can also see that I did a little bit of work after that because I kind of went through and said, that's fucked up, that's fucked up, that's fucked up, that's fucked up, that's fucked up. I didn't get that right. I didn't get that right. I missed that. I got that all fucked up. I went through and I was redlining everything and saying, these are all the things that I fucked up. But I think it's important to focus on the positive and to say that I didn't do a horrible job. I didn't do a good job. I did not by any stretch of the imagination do a good job, but I didn't do a horrible one. And not doing a horrible job, I think, is a huge deal, especially because what I'm doing here is I am trying to copy from reference my goal of where I'm trying to take my art. This is what I want my character designs to look like. I want them to be this level of quality. I want the rendering to look like this. I want them to be this clean. I want them to be this general style. That's the kind of thing that I'm going for. They can have some differences. It doesn't have to be like exactly this, but I really am going for Studio Dean Higurashi no Nakukoro ni 2006. That's what I'm going for as my standard. That's the thing that I'm trying to hit as a target. I'm not nailing the bullseye on it, but I'm in the ballpark. I think I hit the target. I don't think I got real close. But, you know, I didn't just, like, completely whiff the whole thing, you know? I'm not sitting there going, well, where did I hit it? I hit the target. I think I made a recognizable picture of Sonozaki Mion. That's a good thing. I do need to work on the facial features. The facial features are absolutely worked up. I do need to work on the hair. I didn't do a very good job on the hair. I didn't even get as many colors as I needed in the hair. There's a lot of dark bits over here that, see, when you look at this bit here, there's a lot of dark bits that I didn't get in there. There's a lot of texture I didn't get in there. You look at this bit right there, these little bits. I got lines for those, but I don't have the texture. I don't have the feel of it. So that needs work. That's some stuff that I need to work on. These white highlights, those are too bright. I needed something more of a light green. I needed little light highlights, more like this. I got a bit of those in here, but they don't look right. And I need to work on these things. These are things that I need to improve, things that I need to make better, and that's fine. It's fine that there are things I need to make better. Look at how wrong this area is. That's supposed to be that bit. It doesn't look right at all, you know. And I think what you find when you watch the time lapse as it gets closer and closer to the end, I think you can see that I get more and more frustrated and more upset that I'm not hitting the target. And I really did need to focus on how close I was getting and not how far away I still was. I don't think it's all that productive to focus on how far away you are instead of how close you are. It's it's just so much more tempting. It's so tempting to go, oh man, I'm that far away from where I was trying to go. And you really need to think, oh man, I'm that close to where I was trying to go. And it's like, I mean, let me go. I think I've got some old Mion studies that I did. Yeah. It's very nearly the same picture. But, yeah. Here's an older study that I did. That's some complete fucking garbage. And that was, holy crap. That was 3 years ago. That was before I ever started streaming. And I did this in July of 2021, which is before I ever did my first episode of Sketch Weekly, which would have been it would have been September 5th. Oh wait, yeah. So the third anniversary of the stream is right between this stream and the next one, the 5th. So yeah, Friday, I think. Is it Friday? It's Thursday. Thursday is the third anniversary of Sketch Weekly. And that's when I need to start kind of scratching my head and going, huh, what am I doing with the next season? Are we going to have a season 4, or are we doing season 1 of something else? I'm not sure. I need to figure something out, you know? I need to figure out what exactly it is I'm going to do. Hey, let me go ahead and you know, I'm going to start up here. I'm going to take this. I'm going to take it from multiply back to normal. And having taken it to normal, I can now grab that color. And we'll put it back on multiply. And having put it back on multiply, I can now take that color and I can go with my horsehair brush. I can go, let's shade this area here. Got a little bit out of bounds there. A shade up here. And let's get this area right here. You know what? Let's try to fix this, because there's this little area here, and then there's this little area here. It's supposed to come up to about there. There's supposed to be this kind of swoop up. And normal mode so I can get the color. Multiply mode so I can put it on. Okay. So now with that in place, okay. Now what I can do with that is I come down here to my soft airbrush, and now you see over here in the corner, if you look over to the left, underneath the colors, you've got your foreground color, you've got your background color, and you've got this transparent color. And if I use the airbrush with that transparent color, it will actually erase the edge and smooth it out. So I can erase that and give that a soft edge instead of a hard one. Now, this is the exact opposite of what I've seen a lot of other artists do, which is what they'll do instead is, if they need an area with a hard edge, they'll use the lasso tool to identify where they want the hard edge. And then they'll just use the soft airbrush to put the let's do this on a different layer. Let's do it on the palette layer. they'll use a soft airbrush to put that in there, and now inside of the selection gets the soft edge, but because the edge of the selection is hard, you get a hard edge along the outside of the selection. Okay? So you get the soft edge there and the hard edge there. And what they're doing is they're kind of identifying, this is where I want the hard edge, and now I'm going to put the color in and create the soft edge that I'm looking for. Let me go ahead and delete that. Whereas what I'm doing instead is I'm starting with the hard edge altogether. So I'm doing the hard edge area the same way that they might start out. They might select an area and go, yeah, I want this whole area to be hard edged. I'm just drawing that area out with the hard edge. Then I'm taking the soft airbrush and the transparent color, and I'm softening it after the hard edge is in. So I'm softening the color instead of laying the color down already soft in some areas with the hard edge being forced in. So that's a different way of doing that. And I kind of like that workflow, you know? I kind of want to continue doing that sort of workflow because I think it works well. Like right here, I can go right here, I can go, you know, this bit right here, and then over here, let me go back to normal so I can get the correct color. That should actually be in my palette. I'll put that shadow color up there so I can get it whenever I need it. And then down here in the shading, and do that area right there. And having done that, I can now take that soft airbrush, switch over to the transparent, and soften up that shadow. And that works fairly well. Although, I have again not taken this far enough up. It needs to come farther up than there. Actually, it needs to come farther down here. Over there. There's a soft airbrush. And clear that out, cover that, and there we go. And I found that process to work fairly well. To kind of start hard edged and then take it down to soft edged. And I think that approach works reasonably well for getting that shading in place. And there's a lot of stuff that I didn't get quite right on this because I was kind of in a hurry and wanted to get it done, but you know, things do be like that on occasion. And I do feel like the important thing for me to focus on here, the important thing for anyone to focus on when you're doing something like this, is you're looking at how well you did, not at how badly you did. There are some little things that annoyed me, like the line art. Yeah. See, you can't use liquify on line art. There's no liquify on vector layers. So I'm not happy with that, but I don't know. I think you do have mesh transform though, don't you? I think you've got edit, transform. I think you can still do mesh on a line art layer. No. Line art layer, edit, transform. Can I still do mesh on line art? I can still do mesh on line art. Okay, so that's good. Mesh transform is not liquify, but it's something. I would like to put mesh transform on something readily available. Maybe the horizontal thingy. Maybe instead of horizontal flip, because I don't do that as much as I should. Maybe instead of the zoom keys. I don't know. Huh. Yeah, I should think about that. I should think about how I want to do that and whether I want to do that and that sort of thing. I don't flip my canvas horizontally as much as I should, but I don't feel like this piece really suffers from not having been flipped horizontally as much. I don't think any of my pieces suffer that much from not being flipped. I think they suffer from not having a very good artist. Yeah, that's I think I did a bad job. There's another thing here that I think the skin tone, yeah, okay, yeah, that's liquify still. I think the skin tone, looks much more vibrant and realistic on Mion, on the Studio Dean picture than it does on my picture. I think my pink right here, that color, that's nowhere near. That is nowhere near saturated enough. It's like you put it alongside here, it just doesn't look right. It should have been much deeper. It should have been much more saturated. It should have been something like this. That would have been better. I didn't do that. Should have done that. That would actually be how close I got on this. Not bad, I think. More saturated, darker. Less saturated, but still darker. Maybe there. Close, very close. But yeah, I do want to work on my color selection. I need to work on facial features. I need to work on just heads in general. One of the things that I've been kind of looking at lately is the head from underneath, because you got the jawbone, and then you've got this kind of, you got the throat coming down here, and you've got this sort of, there's a little wedge of flesh on either side there, but the central area kind of comes out like this. Like it's It's got this peculiar shape to it that I want to examine more. That's a thing that I want to spend some time on, is working on that. I'm thinking about how the neck is shaped. I want to do more work on necks. I don't do a good job on necks. I don't try to do a good job on necks, but I really want to like dig into the structure and construction and figure out how necks are supposed to look and how necks ought to look and that kind of thing. But yeah, I want to do more. I want to do more work with making sure that I get better at color selection. I want to work on features, the human head, the human neck, that general anatomy. I've been doing a lot of architectural kind of stuff lately, and I kind of want to do some pieces around that. I got this idea about people with worms coming out of their necks. So instead of a neck, they have like a worm. So there's no head, and then their arms are just like this mass of chaotic tendrils. I've been thinking various stuff along those lines. I got to thinking about this idea that I had a while back. I was thinking about somebody whose fingers, you see people draw fingers, and fingers have like 3 sections. And then you see people that are like horrors, they go, well, try drawing your fingers with 4 sections. And I got to thinking, I was like, what if the sections just kept going? What if you had somebody that like their fingers weren't just 3 sections or 4 sections, but like they could stretch the fingers, and they don't really stretch the fingers. It's like they expand, like new joints come out of their hand to make the fingers longer. And that's really fucked up. So I need to get better at drawing hands so I can draw something like that, because that's really fucked up, and I like really fucked up stuff. I think that should be really cool. That could be Ollie's big thing. That could be his major power. And yeah, I need to think about that some more. I need a rationale for that. I need where did Ollie the Magic Bum get his magical stretch your fingers to hell and gone powers? That's a good question. I don't know the answer to it. I'll figure something out. Anyway, that's all I really have to talk. There's not enough time for me to do like a painting or a demonstration or anything like that. I just gotta, I mean, that's it. Do a little YouTube dance, like, comment, subscribe, all that happy horse shit. And yeah, I don't know what else to say here. I never know how to end these things, and I need to figure out a way to end these things. I need to have actual endings for like my streams where I can go, oh, it's time to end the stream. I need to have more material when I start the streams so I can actually go for like an entire hour or at least like 45 minutes. I mean, my agreement with myself is to do at least 15, and I've been trying to do at least 20. But yeah, I'm not sure how to I'm not sure how to move forward on this, and I need to figure out how to move forward on this, and I need to start planning out what next season looks like. Because I've got like 2 months to figure it out. In about 2 months, I'm going to need to figure out what the stream looks like next year. It seems like a lot of time. It also seems like not a lot of time. I can figure it out. I just got to answer some questions. I just got to think about some shit and answer some questions. That's all there is to it. And yeah, I'll need to think about that shit, and I'll need to answer those questions because I need answers to the questions. Is what I need. And yeah, that's basically it. I appreciate every single one of you that shows up to these fucking things, because the reason I'm not pushing them very hard, the reason I'm not trying to like get a bunch of people in here and have a big audience is because I know I'm not all that good at this shit. I know I don't really have content that a lot of people want to watch quite yet. So I'm not pushing on it, because why would you try really hard to sell something that you already know most people don't want? It's like those of you that are showing up, y'all are my people, okay? Y'all are my tribe. You're the ones that are like, you're ride or die buddies on this. Because you're sticking around even when most of my content is garbage. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that so much. I promise you the content isn't always going to be garbage. It's going to get better. I swear to God. But it takes time. And it takes as long as it takes. And there's a lot of stuff. I mean, I know we live in a society. I can just leave that set. We live in a society. I live in a society where everybody wants to get really big, really fast. But I've gotten really big, really fast before. Things take time. And if you don't give them the time to become what they're going to be, then they just fall over and die, and it's a mess. They end up not being what you want. And I'm far less interested in having a lot of eyes and a lot of views and a lot of likes and a lot of comments than I am in having this stream and this channel be the thing that I want it to be. The thing that I want it to be is, you know, a good place for me to hone my craft and for other people to feel like they're honing their craft as well. I want to be helpful to other people with my shit. But first and foremost, if my shit isn't even helping me, what good is it going to be to anybody else, you know? And I think that's important. And that's kind of what I'm working for. So, yeah, that's what I'm going for, and I'm going to keep going for that. And okay, bye.